Hello and welcome to Defense Line, a weekly program on defense, security and more. In this episode of Defense Line, we discuss an unusual kind of warfare. So far, the military thinkers, while planning their battlefield strategy and tactics, had accounted for four main domains: physical, information, cognitive and social. With the advent of the internet and the cyber domain, all countries and their defense establishments are working overtime to deal with the new challenge, which has come to be known as the fifth domain of cyber warfare. How real and how potent is cyber warfare? That is what we will discuss in Defense Line today. Joining us for the discussion are Lieutenant General Harbhajan Singh, former Signal Officer-in-Chief of the Indian Army; Major General Amarjeet Singh Kalon, former Deputy Commandant, Indian Military College of Telecommunication and Engineering; and Puneet Vatsyan, Managing Director, Mobera Systems and President, TIE Punjab. Welcome to the studio. But before we get into the discussion, let us look at what cyber warfare entails.
Cyber warfare attacks on military infrastructure, government and communication system and financial markets pose a rapidly growing but little understood threat to international security. This could become a decisive weapon of choice in future conflicts between states. Future state-on-state conflict as well as conflicts involving non-state actors such as Al-Qaeda would be increasingly be characterized by reliance on asymmetric warfare techniques, chiefly cyber warfare. Hostile governments could hide behind rapidly advancing technology to launch attacks undetected. And unlike conventional and nuclear arms, there were no agreed international controls on the use of cyber weapons. Cyber warfare typically involves the use of illegal exploitation methods on the internet, corruption or disruption of computer networks and software, hacking, computer forensics and espionage. Cyber warfare may be used to disable a country's infrastructure, meddle with the integrity of another country's internal military data, try to confuse its financial transactions, or try to accomplish any number of other possibly crippling aims. Yet governments and national defense establishments at present have only limited ability to tell when they were under attack, by whom and how they might respond. Despite evidence of cyber attacks in recent political conflicts, there is little appreciation internationally of how to assess cyber conflict. The cyber challenge is unprecedented. This is not some future threat. The cyber threat is here today, it is here now.
We are in conversation with Lieutenant General Harbhajan Singh, Major General Kalon and Mr. Vatsyan. General Harbhajan Singh, till 10 years ago, we all heard about cyber warfare. There were video games, there were films being made, but now all that seems to have become a kind of a reality as of now. It's being referred to as the fifth domain. Do you think it is as serious as that, as big as the fifth domain?
Thank you, Mr. Sandhu. First of all, let me compliment you for having this program and highlighting the importance of cyber warfare. Cyber connotes computers.
Yes.
And as you know, that computers are all pervasive today in the government, functioning of the government, business, critical infrastructure, banking, finance, power sector, communications, transportation, very, very important.
Yes.
Imagine if today the online booking system or railways or the airline doesn't function, what's going to happen? Similarly, you go to the bank and the banking system fails.
There is total dependence today on the computer,
yes. It also, the military is also using computers in a very significant way. So it has become a critical resource. Whatever becomes a critical resource becomes a target for other countries which are not friendly with a particular country. And this means the criticality of the system, of the cyber system is very, very important. And it is in the strategic domain, it's not in the tactical domain,
yes,
because it can affect the whole security of the nation. And it is very correct to say that yes, it is reality and it is a very, very important domain of war.
General Kalon, today even the United States accept this as a new and an important domain. One of the security experts, Richard Clarke, in his recent book, Cyber War, in fact, he defined what cyber warfare is. He said actions by a nation state to penetrate another nation's networks by causing damage or disruption. And as I said, the Pentagon now recognizes this as another domain, an important domain. What is your take on this?
That is a fact. The US have taken it very, very seriously, and this task is being undertaken under the National Security Agency, who have defined the overall our sort of outline. They have basically the literature or the knowledge that has come out is about their defensive system, and they seem to be organizing their defenses in depth at various levels, at the enclave level, at the strategic level, at all the levels. And they don't talk so much about the offensive capabilities that they are trying to build for themselves. But notwithstanding, we are well aware that during the Iraq War, they had interfered with the system, communication systems and the control systems, to the extent that the Republican Guard division could not move. And it is therefore to be taken that they would have this strategy hereafter to have dominance.
So you mean this has been used in warfare as way back as 1990?
Yes, in the initial stages they had worked out both for the for nullifying the air effort of the Iraqis, as well as specifically I do know that they targeted the control systems
of the Republican Guard,
of the Republican Guard, and nullified them.
Yes,
and nullified them, so that they had no means of passing out orders or carrying out any further maneuvers. They stayed put where they were.
Mr. Vatsyayan, in the United States, there's apprehensions are being felt that not enough trained security experts in the United States. I mean, they feel that there are only about 1,000 of them against a demand of about 20,000 to 30,000. What is the situation in India?
I think India is going through an evolutionary phase at the moment. We certainly lag the US, both in terms of understanding security and deploying security, and in terms of taking preventive measures. I think in terms of total number of IT security experts, India, I think we are beginning to create it. I think the government is also doing a great job of sensitizing it. You have within NASSCOM now the Data Security Council of India dealing with privacy and data security issues. I think where we've yet not reached is the other side. How do you think of what kind of attack is going to come through? Is it going to be someone who's going to hack my information? Is it someone who's going to do a denial of service attack? Is it someone insider?
But coming back to the first question, do we have enough trained people?
At the moment, the answer is no. It's a field that is going through its evolutionary phase, what I would say a classical hockey stick. It's in its growth phase. Okay. So, no.
General Harpajan Singh, the United States has declared cyber assets as a strategic national asset. In fact, Pentagon has set up a new cyber command. They call it Cybercom, perhaps.
Yeah.
UK has also set up something like that. I think they call it the Cyber Security and Operations Center, which is based in their government communication headquarters, which is another form of the National Security Agency in the United States. What do we have in India?
Well, you know, USA thrives on sharing information, putting it out to the people. But in India, it's the other way around. We are very secretive. This is a classified area, and very little information is available. But what one gathers is there is an organization at the in New Delhi at the government level, and they are aware, and they have taken steps and set up various laboratories, etc., for defensive aspects, how to find out how to deal with critical attacks on our networks. Now, cyber warfare has two connotations,
yes,
defensive and offensive. As far as the offensive is concerned, very little is known. But I'm sure there is some beginning, if not elaborate system for offensive also.
But don't you think we could be a little more open about it? For example, we have the Northern Command, the Southern Command, we have the Strategic Command, we have the Training Command, and if we need a cyber command, so be it?
Yeah, as and when it comes up, the cyber, it will be announced. But we have a problem, you know, there's no, we don't even have a chief of defense staff. So it is all under some ministries it is not under any particular defense per se. So there is a very dire need for having a centralized command.
So you'll have to first convince our bureaucrats that the army needs, or the services need, a command like this.
Oh yes, and I'm sure some cases going on, but it takes time. But let me clarify.
Yes.
That cyber warfare is not only for the defense. The normal civil systems, commercial systems, banking systems, the governments is as important as the defense.
Absolutely, just as you pointed out some time ago.
Yes.
General Kalu, we have gone in for something called the Asteroids, which is the Army Strategic Operational Information Dissemination System, and we also have gone for something called DCN, which I believe stands for Defense Communication Network. Now, this takes care of the communications of all the three services, but this would be mainly dealing with electronic warfare, isn't it?
I feel, from a little knowledge that
Yes.
I have, these are actually the means for conveyance of information, that is the communication systems. Electronic warfare, however, would be a little aside from this, and is a field by itself.
So you need to go beyond electronic warfare when you talk about cyber warfare, right?
Now, as far as cyber warfare is concerned, is that earlier electronic warfare really would cover the aspects, because it was more all communication systems and exchange of information was along terrestrial, along the earth, and it was that it was just that much of that much area you could cover. Now the information is flowing through cyberspace and everywhere. As such, specifically, this will have to be tended to under the aspects of cyber warfare. Yes.
Yes. General Harpal Singh, an organization called NTRO, National Technical Research Organization, has been set up. Again, not much is known about it. But do you think that kind of fills in the space for a cyber command or whatever is required on the cyber field?
See, command connotes control.
Yes.
I doubt if this organization will have control. This may recommend something, this may coordinate something, but it doesn't seem that this has the control, command over all the resources or assets. What is happening, I think, Ms. Sandhu, is various departments are having some cells, some guidelines are being issued, some standards are being laid down, but what we lack is an overall command to maximize the effect of all these.
So you mean maybe a lot of work is going on in different fields, but all that needs to be coordinated?
Coordination is one aspect. Coordination is not sufficient. Okay. You need one single agency to maximize, optimize all these resources. So that's where we lack. We have 10 perhaps cells going on different places, maybe more, but no one person is giving directions.
Yes, General Kalu, I'm sure there are various kinds of threats, as you mentioned, military threats, civilian threats. Yes. But when you're talking about military threats, the command control centers, the air defense systems, now all these are vulnerable. So do you think all these are well secured as far as you know?
Whatever has been acquired and is possibly in the process of being acquired, every effort is being made, and we are by the way, we are known to be very cautious in picking up things from overseas. Typically our communication systems, we will have frequency hopping and other aspects to guard against.